All right, you're listening to the Urban Sports Team. Myself, Wilder, my boy Ray Jeezy. What's good, Ray? This is our post game. The Washington Wizards beat the Boston Celtics 123 to 108 in the Verizon Center, extending their streak to 14 games to the Verizon Center. What's your thoughts of the game?
Well, the Wizards led throughout, but to me, the final score is not indicative of how the game was. It was still a hard-fought battle. Boston always plays to the final buzzer, which they did tonight. Great coach and Brad Stevens. I still think the Wizards have to prove something when they go back to Boston. But for tonight, the Wizards had their number.
Did you feel like, to me, it was exciting in here. Like, the crowds were chanting, Boston Celtics fans here. You had Wizards fans trying to drown them out. Did this feel like a playoff game to you?
I'm not gonna go that far.
Why not?
It was intense, but considering all the buildup, it was a bit uneventful in my opinion. We were all looking for that one moment where a scrum was going to break out or people had to be restrained. Mm-hmm. You had one minor incident with Markieff Morris, in which he didn't elbow Jay Crowder. He was called for a technical foul. Other than that, it was just an exciting basketball game against two teams battling for a top spot in the East.
Were you impressed with the player Bradley Beal? I thought Bradley Beal to me brought his A game. I thought he did a lot. He did more than I've even seen him do in the past in terms of creating his own shot, finishing at the basket. Obviously, he's a knockdown three-point shooter, but I saw more than I've ever seen from Bradley Beal.
Look at the numbers: 12 of 18 from the field, shooting 66%. I don't like him as a ball handler. I think we again agree that he's improved, but. Yes. I got nervous when he had handled the ball, and I felt like Boston should have seized that whenever he had the ball in his hands and he was controlling the offense. But overall, when he's playing at a high level and he's shooting lights out, Wizards are going to be tough to beat.
Well, you in the locker room for Marcus Morris. I mean, Marcus Smart. You call him Marcus Morris.
It's all good.
What was your thoughts? What did he have to say to you, and did he seem frustrated?
Well, he talked about being a competitor. He said the whole team is upset that they lost this game. At the same time, though, he felt like they could learn from the experience. They could get better on defense. However, he questioned the team's toughness, and I think that's something that you'll hear about in the national media come tomorrow or come tonight about how he said we don't have guys right now who are tough. We need to play tougher. We need to press more. We let these guys get comfortable. I honestly think he has some disdain for John Wall based on the history, and it hurt tonight. And Bradley Beal, and especially after the way Bradley Beal taunted him tonight.
Well, luckily Ray has that clip, so we're gonna play.
I do.
Now. There you go.
Marcus, when you hear Brad say that you guys need to impact the ball more, what does that mean to you?
We need to get in guys. We need to make guys feel it. We're playing off guys and they're feeling really comfortable. And he's right. He's definitely right about that. That's one thing about what I say. Last year, guys didn't want to play it. We were impacting the ball. We were into guys, and we were making it really hard on guys.
Is that something that can be applied to everyone, or is that just the perimeter guards?
Everyone. Everyone. From me to down to our bigs to our guards, everybody. We got to get up into guys and really make them uncomfortable.
Marcus, it seemed like the first three quarters, they hit a lot of tough shots. Did you guys get discouraged in the fourth and let Beal kind of go off like that and Wall on the drive to the basket?
Now, we weren't discouraged. It's just, like I said, we just let our defense ease up. We were coming down and worried too much about our offense.
All right, so, yeah, like Ray said, Marcus Smart, I want to say salty, a little pissed that Bradley Beal and John Wall got the better of him. But let's just go to what Coach Stevens had to say. Coach Stevens had some good things to say about John Wall and Bradley Beal.
He did.
And we're going to play that real quick, but I want to talk about that. John Wall and we know John Wall's an all-star, but Bradley Beal's an all-star. I've never really heard that for this season.
Well, I think he more so said potential all-star. But, yeah, we would all I think be supportive, if Bradley Beal made the all-star game. But I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't either. He's an all-star caliber player. I agree. He got a USA team tryout a few years back. So we know what type of player he is. We know what he brings to the table. But to hear another coach in the league say that, I think it speaks highly of how he's just continued to get better.
Well, here's what Coach Stevens had to say about Bradley Beal and John Wall.
Wall and Beal are both in the discussion for all-stars, and they should be, and tremendous young players, and they impact every game like that, not just this game.
All right, so I want to get to to the two all-stars, John Wall and Bradley Beal. Where would you rank this backcourt right now in the NBA? We know Clay Staff, we know Lowry and DeRozan. So where would you put John Wall and Bradley Beal?
I think they're right up there. you got an emerging Milwaukee team, which I like their backcourt, but does it compare to this backcourt here in Washington? I doubt it. I think the year before last, Bradley Beal and John Wall both said, I think we're the best backcourt in the league. Obviously, Golden State will have something to say about that, but they're right up there, top 3 with the guys you just mentioned. I actually think with a healthy group around them, I would take Bradley and John over DeRozan and whatever his name is.
DeRozan and Lowry.
And Lowry, my bad.
Mike Lowry.
Yeah.
Mike Lowry.
Couldn't think of his name. He's gotten in shape though, so you can't fault him on that. Marcus Smart can take a tip from that.
It always lingers from what we saw with Lowry and John Wall in the prior postseason when the Wizards knocked out the Toronto Raptors in that series.
Yeah, I mean, not only did they knock them out, they swept them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that speaks volumes. Although Toronto has gotten better since then, and DeRozan continues to get better. But I think if Bradley Beal and John Wall are mentioned in the category of superstar, you agree.
Yeah.
But DeRozan and Lowry, superstars? I don't know.
I wouldn't say that myself.
So,
I wouldn't say that myself.
And Stephen A. Smith actually tweeted something about John Wall tonight, now demanding respect that he's not getting.
Well, John Wall and Bradley Beal had things to say about their play in this game and what the Celtics had to bring to the table.
They seen everything that we said, and we heard what they said. I think it was just a great, clean game today. Nobody doing anything dirty. Two teams competing to try to get a win. We knew they was in a slump of losing going on into the last 2 games. We knew we had an opportunity to take advantage of it. Came out and competed 48 minutes, played defense and both things, and just trying to make it tough.
Given so much was made of that, what's it like to look around and see everyone pretty much step up and back it up?
Well, this is a team no matter what. We was going through tough times and we playing well now. We never threw nobody in the bus. We just try to keep each other up and try to look each other look ourselves in the face and see what we can do better to help our team win. Everybody's doing that as a group and individually. We play team defense and that's what's helping.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's a win. We're not putting in the work. Everything that we have, it's hoping that we're down with it's a great win for us. We keep our home streak going.
Go back to the game a little bit in this reference. We mentioned the beef, the rivalry, what was going on, what was said via social media, the Wizards in all black, what this game, we thought this game could have been, and it really wasn't. We thought we'd see some more physical play. I know you said a little bit, but let's go into more detail. Were you really disappointed that you didn't see that Pistons type of bad boys mentality in this game?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I more so was expecting Boston to play more physical. The Wizards are who they are. I think John Wall is the toughest player they have from an emotional standpoint. I know Markieff is tough, but Markieff plays the game clean. He plays the game the right way. As far as the Celtics go, it's a big question whether they play the game clean. Otto Porter had questioned that last time when these teams met in Boston. So, I was a bit frustrated. I referenced the Pistons and Pacers brawl, and I'm like, man, what do we see something like that? Some girl sitting with us in the media booth was saying, oh, man, you feel the tension? You can cut it with a knife. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But overall, uneventful. But that's what the Wizards need, and I think that's why they were triumphant. The Celtics weren't physical enough.
We'll get Trey Burke, Wizards backup point guard, talked about how this game was blowing up via social media about the Wizards in all black and the beef and whatnot between the Celtics and the Wizards. So Trey Burke, I got a chance to talk to him. So listen what Trey Burke had to say. So how big was this victory for you all, extending that winning streak to 14 games at home?
It was real big. We knew that it was we had a pretty good streak going on here at home. Obviously with the media kind of blowing up the all-black thing, we knew it was going to be a high, intense game for 48 minutes, and I think we came out, we handled business. We're on the road right now. We just got to continue to take it one game at a time.
Did this game feel like a playoff game to you?
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. The crowd was into it. They had some fans here too, so it wasn't like we just had all our fans here. We heard some of their fans talking stuff out there too. So. We're gonna need that, before the playoffs come. I think that's good for us, a good test for us to, be able to win a game like that where it's high intense, and a lot is on the line. I think we're 1 or 2 games out of being in third place. That's good. We just got to keep it up.
So you guys have been on a nice streak, on a nice little stretch, regardless of playing home or on the road.
Yeah.
How can you make sure you keep this consistency up in terms of playing good offense and also playing good defense down the stretch?
I would say just not getting satisfied, learning from each game, whether we win or lose, learning from it, learning from our mistakes, continue to stay locked in. I think that's big, not getting satisfied with, our past win or past loss. And I think we've done that, good thus far. We just got to keep it up. We got a lot of talent on this team, and it's starting to show. So it's good.
It's been a pleasure, Ray. Obviously, this is the Urban Sports Scene giving you our post-game Washington.
All day, without Will T.
Without Will T, giving you our post-game Washington Wizards game against Washington Wizards, Boston Celtics game. Again, the Wizards won 123 to 108. How do we usually wrap up our shows, our podcast shows?
Hashtag Rise Up. I know it has nothing to do with the Wizards, but I got to plug that in. We didn't have a show tonight, so
that's
had
right.
to say something.
Hashtag DC Family, because that's the Wizards.
DC Family.
DC Family. Anyway, you listen to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig?
Deuces.